Coach Aubrey here, and tonight we are going to jam on something that is very prevalent. If you're going through this, you're not alone. And it is when you are coming out of a cut phase. This might be that you went through a show and you're now coming out of it. So you've seen yourself super lean, or maybe you've gone through a cut, you've shed all the fat, you've lost a bunch of water, you've seen yourself very lean, right? Which feels good. It's hard, but it feels good. But the thing is, that's not sustainable. So we have to come out of those phases, and that can be really hard mentally, physically. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about this and the benefits of coming out of that phase. Because at the end of the day, we have to have an improvement season in order to improve. And by improvement season, I mean a grow phase, all right? So the first thing we can do is we can shift out of thinking of it as a grow phase or a bulk. Get those words out of your vocabulary. That will help alone. Think about it as an improvement season. Okay? Because if you keep going down this road of cutting, and you're cutting your fats, you're cutting your carbs, you're eating less and less, yes, you will lose weight for a while, you'll cut fat, you'll cut water, but what you'll do if you stay in that phase too long is you'll cause metabolic damage. So when you cause metabolic damage, that's because you've kept your body at a very lean state on very little food for way too long. And what your body does is it starts to fight you back. So instead of continuing to shred, because you're only going to get so far, it's going to start storing fat and water on hardly any calories. I see this all the time with women because a lot of times people don't have the information. They don't know how to get lean and stay lean, and they start to feel the benefits and they want to stay there. But what they do is they get themselves into a hole. Okay, so if you're on a salad diet and you've been on there for a while and you're doing cardio overload, your body will get to a point where it's going to start fighting back. So that's the first thing to keep in mind, is that this is an improvement season. And so what you got to do is you got to gradually get back to maintenance. And then if you want to keep growing, you got to continue to add in some more fats and carbs so you can build new muscle. Now, if we talk about the reality of this, it's more mental than anything, because like I said, once you see yourself really lean, it's really hard to see yourself any other way. It's kind of like when you've seen yourself really out of shape. If you've ever gotten to the point where maybe you've had way too much weight on you, way too much fat, even when you cut down, you'll still see yourself that way for a while. So this is so mental, you all. What you need to do is you've got to shift the way that you're viewing this whole process. So like I said, instead of calling it a bulk, call it an improvement season. The only way you are going to take your physique to the next level is if you have an improvement season. If you stay on very low calories, you're not going to like how you look at a certain point. And the worst part is you're going to have to get really uncomfortable to get out of there. If you think it's uncomfortable now, just adding a little bit of healthy fat and carbs in and putting some more muscle on, adding some more water, a drop of fat, then just wait. If you do metabolic damage, it's way worse, because then you have to put on unnecessary fat. You're going to start gaining weight really easily when you add in any sort of food. So keep that in mind. You've got to keep your cuts short enough to where you're not causing metabolic damage. One thing I always like to ask myself is my process driving me, or is it dragging me? Am I becoming addicted to the phase I'm in? Because you've got to understand, we're always leveling up. That should be our goal, is to constantly expand, to constantly improve ourselves. So if we are stuck at being in one phase and we just want to stay there, we're being dragged by this process. And that's not why we got into it to begin with. We got into this sport, we got into this lifestyle because we love the drive that it gave us, the passion that it gave us. So don't let the sport drag you, let it drive you. And so what you might need to do is shift your focus. Stop looking at the benefits of being cut. Ditch the mirror, ditch the scale if you need to, and start focusing on the benefits of being in an improvement season. You've got your energy back. You can get a little balance back in your life, which is really important. You don't want to be so hooked on bodybuilding or cutting or seeing the lines all over your body and seeing all of your abs that you begin to sacrifice your well-being. You don't want to get to that point. But it's okay if you're starting to feel that happen. You just got to have this mental shift. And the best way to do that is, like I said, to focus on the benefits of being in an improvement season. So you have more energy. And do you know what it means when you take in more calories? You're stronger. You can push more weight. So start setting some goals back in your weight training. Try to hit some PRs and enjoy being strong again. That's a huge strength. The other thing is you're going to have more capacity for other things. If you have kids, you're going to have more patience with your kids. You're going to be able to have more experiences with your kids. You're not going to have to bring Tupperware or say no to everything that's passed your way on the dinner table. You get your life back, so to speak. So start to focus on those pros and don't focus on these perceived cons that you have going on for going into a grow season. And the final point I really want to make about this is hormones are real. So a lot of these mood swings you might be experiencing, or if you're feeling a little depressed or a little anxious, your hormones have been out of whack. When you get that low in body fat, your hormones are off balance. And so you've got to give them a chance to optimize again. If you want to be in this for the long game, if you want to look and feel completely different 2 years from now, 5 years from now than you do in this moment, then you've got to give your hormones a chance to repair. I don't want to get too much on a soapbox here, but I do know a lot of women who have maybe been through show prep or been through an intense cut for a long period of time. I'm talking about 12 weeks on meat and vegetables. And it does do metabolic damage, and it does throw their hormones so out of whack that when they do go into a grow phase, they're very soft, they carry a lot of extra fat, and then when they go back around to a cut, they can't get lean. They can't get that conditioning again. So let all of this be motivation to optimize your improvement season and to look forward to it. And so there are some over-the-counter supplements that you can take that help to naturally optimize your hormone production again. So if you want more information on that, feel free to send me a message. I'm happy to always talk about that. And what I really want you guys to remember is the goal should be to optimize your metabolism. So you don't want to get yourself in this hole with your metabolism where you can't handle any carbs or fats, where anytime you barely go off the plan, you hold water for 3 days. You don't want to put yourself in that position. The goal should be to get your metabolism to where you can handle as much food as you can in an improvement season while staying relatively lean, but not too lean. So when you go in and out of these cuts and these bulks or even these maintenance phases, you should improve every time. I tell my clients this all the time. You will improve every season. So that first real bulk that you do, you're gonna be a little softer than you want. And then that first cut you do, it's gonna be really hard. But then each time you go back into a bulk or back into an improvement and then back into a cut, you're gonna keep your conditioning and you're gonna look better and better as long as you optimize your metabolism and your hormone health. So let this be encouragement for you, and just know that if you're going through an improvement season and you're just coming out of a cut and you don't like how it feels or how you look, you're not alone. Everybody goes through that. It's really hard, like I was saying, to see yourself one way and then start to see your body changing another way. So hang in there and just know that you're doing the right thing by giving yourself plenty of room to improve. Stay strong. And one more thing, don't forget to like and subscribe if you got value from this. Share it with a friend who needs to hear it, because we got to get the word out. Metabolic damage is real, but so is metabolic health. So stay healthy, my friends.